Week 18, final week of the NFL season is in the books. All playoffs, all set. We're going to break all that down for you and the exciting weekend, wildcard weekend that is coming upon us here on Full Time Sport Network. Oh, yes. Hello and welcome to Full Time Sport Network. I am Britt Smill. This is Through the Table. Um, Once again, our channel sponsors, Global Mapping Surveys and Wraith Energy. Appreciate them coming on board as always. And bringing in now my friend, Donnie Shoemaker. Buddy,
What's up, Britt?
how you been, man?
Good, good. It's been a good week. Um, the regular season came to an end. That was a little sad, but honestly, I'm really excited about the playoffs this year. I think a lot of good and teams that we haven't really been seeing a lot of. I mean, yeah, they've been building the last couple of years, but I think it's gonna be a pretty good playoff run. I think there's only
Uh,
like a couple teams that I'm not really too like keen on. But all in all, personally, had a good week. As far as
Excellent.
football goes, I'm excited about the week to come. How about yourself?
Oh, it very good week. Of course. I mean, wasn't too bad, man. Good stuff. The weather's up and down right now. It's cold. It's warm.
Snowing up there?
Uh, Off and on. It's colder than it was last year, but not snowing as much.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I know
we.
places up like just north of us have gotten a
Yeah,
lot more snow than we have, and you think
really.
proximity we should have at least gotten a bit, but like comparatively to last year, we w- we've basically gotten like zero snow compared to
Yeah,
last year. Yeah. Well, man, but I didn't final week of the season. I mean, it is like you say bittersweet because the season's over, but it's
yeah.
cool because uh playoffs, like you said, these playoffs they're setting up to be pretty good wild card round, I think.
I
And
think
I
so too.
mean,
Yeah.
we'll get into that after we'll cover weekend here real quick, and then we'll get into the playoffs. Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-13. Um, the Chiefs are, of course, a very good team. Um, they're the number one seed going into the playoffs.
Really don't think that if you talk crap about the Chiefs, I think you're just a hater at this point. Like, they're a solid team. I mean, every year they make it to the playoffs. The last 5 years they made it to the AFC Championship. I I don't doubt that they'll probably make it there this year too. Unfortunately, and there's really good teams. I mean, I know you don't want me to say that, but they have a pretty good shot at making the AFC Championship.
Yeah, they really do. As far as Las Vegas is concerned, they finished the year 6-11. Um, and of course, they have things to think about in the off season. How do they make themselves better? Um,
Well, they already know how they think they're going to make themselves better. So
yeah, but we'll find that out pretty quick. I think the quicker they
I'm
can
pretty.
do it.
I mean, we all nothing exciting, nothing that we haven't already all read. But I'm pretty sure Carr's gone. You know,
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate. uh, it is what it is. I think he's had his time there. I think they put all the effort they can into that. They've changed all of the elements around that position, and still, I mean, they didn't have a horrible season, but it's not what you expected. You have top 3, 4 running back. You have top wide receiver, not top wide receiver, but definitely top 5 wide receiver. I'd even say top 4.
Mm-hmm.
He still didn't do it. So, it's time. It's not going to be the end of his career, but it's
Right.
definitely. This was the highlight of his career. He's definitely not going to go to another team, I think, and beast it up. I think he's got all the opportunity he could, and I like the dude, and just
Not not a
you can like
not
somebody and
not
then
that
not
good of a
do as
quarterback.
well as you want them to do, and that's just how it goes.
Right. Jaguars Titans basically played a game for the playoff spot. Jaguars beat them 2016, win that division.
Not gonna
Like,
lie, I'm really happy about this. Like, I was really happy the Jaguars
I
won. I
mean,
was
the
like, oh
fall of the
yes,
Titans, man. Like, my goodness. And I mean, we
pretty
kind of
adamant
hit,
about it.
we kind of hinted at this as a result of that, of their
Time and
one
time
and
again.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they lost that game bad, and that was the game the Titans should have won their playoff game last year.
Yeah. I mean, they've made it to the playoffs the last 2 years and then lost. First time they played. We've seen it. They're not an all around team. They have one weapon. Not that that weapon's not good, but we've said it here multiple times. You can't win a Super Bowl with that. You can't win a playoff game just like that.
Yep.
And I really am glad that the Jags made it in. I don't think they'll make it very far, but it is good to see them because I think they're underrated team, and I think
Does
they're a
this
good
make
team.
the AJ Brown stock go up?
I would say I think he was already at a stock level. I
Hmm.
don't think they've used him as much in Philly as they did in as far as when he was a Titan, because that team all around is a much better team. I think that he's a
Right,
solid
which
cat.
which shows you a lot about um Tennessee, man.
I don't
Like
know what they were
you
thinking,
you get while getting rid of them, you totally see the ineffectiveness of their game plan.
and they had to know that, right? Because
Yeah, of
like
course they do that.
they made it to
That
the playoffs without Henry last year because of AJ Brown and the ability for them to move the ball around a little bit more, and yet they went back to the same game plan this year. And so that's coaching. That's that's coaching and staff. That's not player.
because Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league. You have Derrick Henry on your team. You should be fine.
Definitely.
And then you take away the yeah. I did not whatever, dude. And then look at Philly now. Hey, who's still in the playoffs? AJ Brown is not
And
Tennessee.
realistically, they didn't really like they used him, but not like a whole like not what Tennessee used him like last year. You know,
Right. Falcons meaninglessly beat the Buccaneers 30-17. Falcons are done. Uh,
and the Buccaneers are in the playoffs. I
yeah,
think that
they're
was
in the
more kind of like
playoffs.
that was a sit game for the Buccaneers.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, they had this horrible Division 1, but they win. They'll go to the playoffs as the 4th seed. Um, Bills beat the Patriots 35-23 in an exciting start of the game. 96-yard Micah Hines.
I
Beautiful.
mean, I don't think that game really like had much meaning, but
No,
it's cool for the
because
Bills.
as long as Kansas City won, it didn't matter, and we already knew Kansas City won.
Yeah, Kansas City was already getting the number one sit. They're getting the bye week. There was no way
Yeah,
that was going to help you get the bye week.
yeah, but a good considering with the whole situation with DeMar, a good emotional win and everything. I was very proud of the
Sometimes
team.
that's a
And
morale
then,
boost is honestly sometimes the
yeah.
most important aspect.
And then DeMar went home today.
Did he?
So, yeah.
Great, dude.
So,
No,
it's,
for real, man. Because sometimes we get wrapped up, and I know you mentioned it last week, but you're right, man. We get wrapped up and it's a game, and it's scary, man. I get it. It's
yeah.
football. One half of me is like, it's football and they get paid a lot, but the other half of me is like, man, that's a person, man.
Yeah.
Football is just a brief second in a lot of people's lives, and then they go on to live the rest of their lives, and it's like these are the repercussions because of this. And a couple $1 million, even if you get to your second contract, $50 million. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. I mean,
It
paying
doesn't make your
paying for a
body
full
feel
family
better.
at 25 years old for the rest of your life, like
Yeah.
$25 million, man, it goes in a blink of an eye. Because a lot of people, I mean, myself included, if I got all that money right at the beginning, it's hard to
We,
say, hey, I would buckle down and be like, this is what I need to do with that money.
right. We will get there. We will get there, Mom. That is upcoming, I promise. We will get to that. Vikings beat the Bears 29-13. I don't think there's any surprise. Bears are going to end up having the number one pick. Um, lots of talks about.
I just don't like how Justin Fields handling his. What I've been reading, he thinks he's like the answer, and he was like, if we bring another quarterback in here, I'm gonna make his life a living hell, and it's like, bro, that's
Well,
not how you do.
I mean, there's a good chance what he meant by that, and the writers just
Yes
messed
and
up the
no.
comment. But it's probably mean he's going to compete for his job. Like he's not going to give up his job easily. That's what I take.
And I do
But
take that like that
I
too,
could
but
be
at the same
wrong.
time, you know what's better? You know what's gonna get you longevity in the league? Helping that next dude up, cultivate his skill, being a solid number two. If you can't make it as a number one, I'm sorry. Colt McCoy, example, 36 years old.
Well,
He's still
well,
getting paid.
well. Here's the brutal truth of it. Because the Bears got to do one of two things here. You either decide if you want to roll with Fields. If you want to roll with Fields, you trade that number one pick to the highest bidder. You get as much talent and equity for that number one pick that you can get.
Yeah.
Because you gotta protect Fields, man. You can't have him running. You gotta stop this crap.
Oh, who you gonna draft? You gonna draft Georgia's quarterback?
No,
That number one
no,
pick, though, right? You don't think that guy's gonna get the number one pick?
no.
You know that dude's 27 years old.
Yes, yeah. Everybody,
I don't
everybody
really
knows
watch
that.
a lot of college, so like,
No, you draft Bryce Young.
you think so?
Yeah. If well, that's who you should be drafting. But you're going to trade if you're Chicago and you can get a grip and you want to roll with Fields.
Yeah.
You get all the protection you can get for him, and you start adjusting your game plan because you can't have him running around like this. Like, I
No,
mean,
can't.
it's
You
way
don't
too
have
much
a running
running.
game besides him, but
You got
you
to be able to
definitely
throw the
protect
ball
him.
too, man.
And
Throw the
then,
ball. It's like hockey. If you don't shoot the puck, you can't score. It's a quarterback. If you don't
okay, so
throw
let
the
me ask you:
ball,
do you give up your number one pick for
yeah,
debate for somebody else and get better picks down the line?
you get the best combination of whatever you can get.
Because number one, you're gonna. It's hard to say that as a team that you're gonna pick, a defensive player as number one pick. Like that doesn't happen too often, or an offensive line pick.
The
You can
number one overall pick
you
is
usually
gonna
can
be
wait.
it's
So
gonna
it's
be a
like it's hard
quarterback.
to say you're the number one pick of the draft is going to be an offensive lineman. No, I highly doubt that.
And that's who somebody wants to go get Bryce Young. They want him, and they're gonna. But you're gonna have to draft him at number 1.
Okay.
So Chicago gives that up to the highest bidder, whether it's personnel already drafted or if it's draft picks for that year. Don't wait years down. You got to protect him now.
Right now.
You got to give him talent now.
And
Don't
so who would be
no
looking at
future.
that? You'd be looking at like the Falcons or Houston.
It all depends who calls you.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying.
You know the desperate teams. You already kind of know who you could call. But do they have what you want? That's the other thing too.
That's true too.
Or is the market going to be better because you do one of these two things? Or can you get more for Justin Fields? What can you get for Justin Fields? Can you put a team together
Around him
with what you get for Justin Fields, and then you draft Bryce Young?
And I know 3-14 really isn't anything to write home about, but Fields actually did show a lot of talent this year, despite what the record is.
Right. It's basically.
It's hard to say that they're going to get rid of him. I don't think they will. I think they're going to try.
I think they trade the number 1
team around them at least for this one, at least for the next couple years.
Yeah, I think they trade the number 1 pick. Yeah, they roll with Fields.
That's what I would do. Is I would trade the number 1 pick and get some stuff for it.
I'm not saying Chicago fan to be happy about it, but unless you want Bryce Young and you can get a lot of crap for Fields. Maybe you can get enough for Fields that you can put together a team, and all you need is a quarterback. So you draft Bryce Young.
Yeah, true that.
All right. Bengals beat the Ravens 27-16. Cincinnati wins that division. Yeah. Ravens still going to the playoffs.
Go Cincinnati. I think they're a great team.
Yeah, Cincinnati's but Baltimore's not horrible.
It's not. I mean,
like last year, they don't seem like a great team, but they get it done, like with or without Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I don't have any faith in the Ravens. I'm sorry. I like the Bengals a lot more, but I know that.
Oh yeah, I like the Bengals a lot more too.
I don't have faith in the Ravens. I don't have faith in them.
No.
It's been time and time again that I've seen that. It's just, you get into the playoffs. You've gotten into the playoffs, but just because you get to the playoffs doesn't mean you're a winning team.
Yeah. Probably the most what the heck game of the week. Houston beats Indianapolis 32-31. Like, I'm not saying either one of these teams are really good, but if you were Indianapolis, you at least thought you were better than Houston.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I kind of gave up on Indy this year. I'm very disappointed because I was a huge Indy fan going into this year.
Well, that was Matt Ryan. That was kind of the excitement around Matt Ryan, man.
Their team just, I don't know, man. They let me down this year. I thought Indy had a lot going for him. Pittman, Taylor, all this.
Yeah.
They were going to come in, hit it strong. They didn't. And they showed time and time again. And, I mean,
I'm sure we'll have stuff to say about them in the offseason, depending on how busy I am. I expect for a while I'm going to be really busy. Jets, Dolphins. Dolphins win this game 11-6.
Sir.
Of course, no.
But the Dolphins in the playoffs.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So,
So they get to the playoffs.
And the Jets didn't. I get this. I got to give it up for the Jets, man. They had a great season. Yeah, they didn't make it to the playoffs, but they've had the best season that I have seen since I have started watching football. And that is, honestly, I know it's shorter than a lot of people, but for me, a decade plus watching football, like this is the best Jets team I've seen.
It did kind of turn into same old Jets, though. That was a
At the
really
end,
good first half of the
yes,
season.
but
The second
I
half,
think they're getting there. They're doing the things they need to do. It's
right?
next
But if
year, the year after that's a playoff team, and they're playing in a very hard division. All those teams are very well put together.
they got to find a quarterback, I guess now because I guess
It's
they're
it's,
done.
it's not like it's an easy to. It's not like when the Jags won their playoff spot, or the Buccaneers winning their playoff. That's a solid division that they play in,
They
and
can build on this.
all those teams are doing really well. I mean, none of those teams. Yeah, there was injuries and stuff that kind of hurt those teams, but none of them
Mhm.
looked like they were just trying to like whatever give in or not play as well as they should or not as well as they could. They all are very solid. They're all very solid teams.
Yeah,
And honestly, the Bills are going to pretty much rule that division until Josh Allen's gone. I mean, Patriots really they're pretty much right on par. Not Tom Brady level, but pretty close. Then the Dolphins, barring
they're
those 3
so
weeks
close.
that Tua
They're
got
so
off,
close.
that Tua was injured, they might be first place. They're at least fighting Buffalo for first place, bro.
I think
Realistically, I know
they're
you don't
very.
want to say that, but
They're better than New England.
those 3 weeks that he was out really kind of like put a damper because
And they're
potentially
better than the
they could
Jets.
have had 12 wins right now.
It's a good team.
You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
good team. I don't
Which
want to
puts
take
them
anything away from
right
them.
on par for right there with the Bills.
I wouldn't go that far. Carolina, Indy, they both finished at 7-10. This score, this game happened to be 10-7. Weird, right? In favor of Carolina. Man, these teams have
The Saints just been struggling, man, and
Panthers. I mean, can they? They can't roll with Darnold, right? Or are they
probably
stuck?
not. But I mean, problem is that they won 7 games, so it's not like they're gonna
There's
get like
something to
a
build
top
on.
draft spot.
No, right? Yeah. The Saints, they'll probably be in search of a quarterback too. They'll be a
The Saints are gonna look for a quarterback for sure.
so
But they finished at 7 wins too. So
Alvin Kamara to Chicago.
is that what's happening?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I just know that next
Chicago
year,
trades the #1 draft pick to New Orleans for a
Kamara might
bunch of
not even play
players.
this next year because that stuff the court last year.
That's right.
I don't know how high his draft like what they would be
His
able to get
trade
for him.
value would be.
I mean, they were talking 6 to 10 games. Like we don't even know the legal ramifications of this, but I mean, realistically, the dude's got a lot of money. The dude wanted to pay out. He said he wanted to pay out. So realistically, money's going to exchange hands, and he's not going to serve any time, but he might serve some time as far as like the protocol as far as like missing time.
Right. Very,
I at
very good
least see him
point.
missing 4 games. At least 4 games.
Very true.
Because
Brown Steelers. Oh,
the
go ahead.
NFL is crack down on like stuff that's happening outside the field, as far as them like doing stuff about that. I
Right.
don't know how much they're really gonna do. I mean, they gave Watson 11 games off of that, so I'd only assume that based on that, you're gonna get like 3 to 4
And Ridley
games.
a whole year for gambling.
Yeah,
So who knows
that's
what'll
gonna
happen
cost
to
the NFL
Kamara,
money. Yeah, we all know that. That's why that happened.
dude. Right. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, 28-14 in favor of Pittsburgh. Cleveland 7-10. Pittsburgh finished at 9-8. Um, like Cleveland was supposed to look pretty good with this lineup, right?
I mean, really, they've only won 2 extra games since Watson's been back.
Yeah, and the Steelers are.
I think the Steelers.
Kenny Pickett, dude.
I think the Steelers really showed that even though all that stuff happened for a rebuild team, they showed really good face.
Oh, 9-8, dude. I think that's a pretty good year for Pittsburgh.
You
It's
know,
not a good 9-8. Parts of the season were horrible, but I
uh,
mean,
they
dude,
didn't make the playoffs, which is unfortunate because I think this is the first year Tomlin hasn't made the playoffs.
but not Najee Harris looks to be a really good running back. So
Yeah, but we said that last year, and it's still true. But
yeah, but
he was
Pittsburgh needs
not
to get
used nearly as
better.
effectively as he was used last year. But
Yeah,
still, 9-8's pretty good for a team that lost their like a superstar quarterback. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year. They started out with Trubisky, moved to Pickett. Um, you know, I
right.
do think it was a good year for them. I don't think it was a bad year. Yeah, it is considered a loss as far as like making it to the playoffs, but outside looking in, they put in the work. They show that they're an organization that isn't to be messed with. It will take a year or two to kind of dial it in, but the Steelers have been a well-ran organization for a long time.
Yeah,
They continue to be so. Continue to be playoff contenders. Yeah, it sucks as far as like him not getting. He's finally got a losing season, but
yeah. See, mom's like, right. Mom's a Steeler fan. She's right
yeah,
now. Good year. Yeah,
that's what
it
I'm
was a
saying.
good year because you knew it was gonna be Baltimore and Cincinnati banging it out at the top.
And they
You
really
knew you were not going to be a part of that.
Baltimore only got one more win than the Steelers, so it's not like they went out there and crushed it.
No, right.
10-7, 9-8. That's, I mean, for real. And the
They weren't
Ravens team that's
convincing,
supposed to be
like you said.
established, coming back from a horrible injury season. Now everybody's
Yeah,
better. They won one more game. Nah, come on. Let's be realistic. The Ravens aren't as good as people think they are, and the Steelers are better than people thought.
yeah,
Better
but
than
Lamar
I
missing
gave them credit
time.
for at the beginning of the year. Like,
But what about all the no Lamar stuff?
I don't care about the no Lamar. I'm tired of hearing about Lamar. Yes, Lamar. No, he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. He's never going to win you a Super Bowl. Go back to Joe Flacco. Maybe you have a better
He's
chance
still
of winning the
playing.
Super Bowl
Maybe you
there.
could get it back from the Jets.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But this Ravens team isn't going to win a Super Bowl.
No.
I highly doubt the way that the Steelers played this year. If they can learn from this year and move forward, there's no way that I mean they're going to take that Ravens wild card spot. You know,
No, yeah, it's not like the Ravens wild card spot. It's something that's secure.
it's not like it's nothing to write home about. Like they squeaked in with one extra win. It's
Like I
not.
would,
It's
I would secure Miami's playoff spot, and I would secure Chargers playoff spot from year to year,
yeah.
but
I mean,
not
I was really
Baltimore.
hoping that the Steelers were gonna get the playoff spot, but they played a hell of a year. Nothing to be ashamed about. I'm not impressed with the Ravens. I
Right.
think this if somebody was gonna have a rebuilding year, this was a great rebuilding year to have. Like, I'm sorry if you had a rebuilding year and you got 9 wins, I think you're doing pretty decently.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if Pickett
Speaking,
really did, like, he stayed in there. You
yeah,
know, he didn't like beast it up. I'm sorry, man. Like, Big Ben's gonna be hard to replace. Like, you know,
right.
and I mean,
Yeah,
even he had his problems with his interceptions, but like
he did,
Pickett's
man.
not Big Ben, but Pickett's still like in there, like doing what they need to do. You know, hair and like you said, Najee's great. Just it's a matter of time and growing
Yeah,
and with experience.
right. Chargers, Broncos. Broncos win 31-28. The big studs played. Um, doesn't really mean anything. Chargers still get in.
Yeah,
Uh, this is
Broncos
an
still suck.
Broncos still suck. Yeah. Hey, that's your fifth win of the season. 5-12. Good, good job.
I mean,
Like, yeah,
I don't know, man. I just think that the Broncos are garbage. They played Russell way too much, and they're gonna have to do something about
I
that.
mean, they got exciting players, man.
Yeah, and some people are going to say that didn't
everybody
just St.
talks
Patrick and
about.
the dude like were hurt before the beginning of the season. That would have changed something. Even if we took that into consideration, even one or two more wins. I mean, you know,
It
three
still wasn't a
wins.
good year. Still not a
It
good
was not a
year.
good year for them.
Yeah. Nope.
They were trash.
Um, a good year for these two teams. Giants, Eagles. Eagles win 22-16. Eagles number 1 seed. So
Yeah,
they'll be watching Wildcard Weekend. Good for them. Wow. Like,
yeah,
wow. Um,
yeah.
the Giants 9-7-1. Philly finishes 14-2. A 14-win season. Like, I mean,
14-3, but still, yeah.
yeah, sorry. But an
Great
amazing
season.
season. Like, dude, like
And I think the
fighting
games that they
fly,
lost, they
man.
were just like didn't really take them as serious teams. Those teams that they lost to were teams that they should have crushed. Mediocre teams, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one loss, yeah, Hurts wasn't there, but I mean, if Hurts is back in there, I think they have no problem on making it to the Super Bowl. I would not be surprised if they're playing the Super Bowl against Kansas City.
Right. And nothing to cry over. Giants lose, but still make the playoffs. So good year for the Giants too. Um, I don't really fancy. I mean, we knew they were going to be a really improved team.
Yeah, but they've done much better than I thought they were going to do.
Yes.
They really have. Barkley and Jones stepped it up. They
Oh
really
yeah.
did.
Oh, and if you forgot, Kenny Galladay still plays. He caught his first touchdown in what forever.
He's still on the Cowboys, right?
Kenny Galladay.
Oh, that's Gallup. Okay.
Yeah, but he's been quiet for a long time. But I mean, what the Giants do with their quarterback situation.
One of
Uh,
them is going to get paid. Now, if they both take the pay cut, this is probably not a huge pay cut, but I think they both have the potential to play on the Giants again if they're willing to take what the Giants offer them. And, both of them really came on this year. The Giants have put up a lot of stuff with them. So it wouldn't be like out of the norm for them to take that, because sometimes, man, just, having some chemistry and reliability and loyalty to a team pays off.
yeah. San Francisco beats Arizona 38-13. San Francisco wins 13 games, man. Uh, I.
The Cardinals suck, and King's gone. They
Yeah,
released let him go, which
yeah. 5 coaches have been fired.
I
He's the
mean,
fifth.
their record was not anything to write home about the whole time Kingsbury has been their head coach. I mean, this year especially really put the nail in the coffin. So 49ers, were a good team. We said they were
Right.
going to, their quarterback situation was kind of the problem, but they're a run heavy team. Bosa, a great tight end. They got McCaffrey.
They
They
got
got
McCaffrey.
Samuels. I mean, that's a solid team. Got a great defense. I expected the 49ers to do great this year. The Cardinals, they're saying it's
What we
the
thought we
coaching staff.
would.
So, and then I've
Yeah.
heard that Murray's going to have some say on who's the new head coach. So maybe it isn't him. Maybe it is the coaching staff. We'll see.
We will see.
Based on this regular season, they needed to do something. And Connor's been putting in work. They got Rondell Moore. They got Hopkins.
Well, there's lots and lots of talk right now about them dealing Hopkins.
They can get a lot for him, but Shoot, man.
Yeah, I mean, you could have got a lot more for him a long time ago. I don't know
I
what you can
think
get
he's
for him
still worth
now.
his
Pro-
weight in gold, man. I
yeah,
I really do. I don't. If he got a better caliber quarterback, I think he could still do better. I think he's still going to do the same level. Like whatever quarterback he has is going to do him good and even better, depending on what the quarterback you get.
right.
I mean, and I'm
Um,
not a huge Hopkins fan. I've never even drafted him in the in fantasy, but I can tell you what, he's not a Julio Jones to me. I do
right.
think he's good. I haven't been impressed with Arizona, and that's really
Yeah,
the
yeah,
problem with me.
right. Seattle 19, the Rams 16. Rams 5-12. Did not see this coming, but loaded with injuries.
They
It
they
it was
I don't want to say the word suck, but
it was
they've
a
been a
tough
very big
year.
disappointment this year.
They had a lot of
Very big disappointment.
definitely hoping for
And I heard
better.
that Stafford's retiring.
He could, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out.
I'm pretty sure
Um,
he's going to retire.
but
I mean, if they
no,
replace you with Mayfield, you're probably going to retire. You're probably done, dog.
you
You
didn't
got
get
your big.
replaced. You got hurt,
I know, man,
and
but
then you got IR'd.
he's
But
been struggling all year. He's been in the NFL for a decade plus. He got
the
his ring.
body's hurting.
I mean, realistically, it's time to wrap it up, bro.
um, Cowboys, Washington football team. I mean,
This was a
26
joke
to
of a
6.
game. For real though, right? Like I get it, you already made the playoffs, but
You're
dude,
playing, dude.
you
Like,
gave you gave this game away. I watched it. It looked horrible. And yeah, I've been saying that the Commanders have been better this year, but
hmm
they're not good enough to beat Dallas. I mean,
no.
apparently on paper they are, but but
Dak was horrible.
it looked like a bad game.
It, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
Pollard didn't play, but the game looked like trash, man.
Pollard did play.
I thought he didn't play. I thought he was out.
No, he had 7 carries, man.
Are you sure? You're right. It was the week before he didn't play.
Right, correct. Yeah. So
But yeah,
yeah, this was a big disappointment. Like this NPU and Dallas was know why people they feel like the world's against them and people don't believe in them.
yeah, I went to lunch during this game. The bar was dead, silent. I was like,
um,
okay, yeah, the Cowboys are losing for sure.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and like you said though, Washington has been building for a few weeks now.
Hmm.
It shouldn't have built up to this, but they have a lot. I mean, they got something to carry into next year.
And
I
if the
this
Giants would have
could be a
lost,
really
they
good
would have made
division.
they would have made the playoffs.
Like this could be a really really good division.
It should be, but the Cowboys kind of seem like they kind of floundered there. Like they've been struggling for the last couple of weeks,
This is
and
why
that's what
we
happened. And now they're going
and
into
then,
the playoffs, and you know what happens to the Cowboys in the playoffs? They
right.
don't go much further than the first round.
Yep. And then to wrap up week 18, the Lions with absolutely nothing to play for except that you're in Lambeau and the Packers are playing for their playoff life. And you go out there and you beat them 20-16. Dude, the pack. You
Packers suck.
you see you were on
Packers.
this man the way they exited
If
the
you would have
playoffs
ever told me the
last year.
Seahawks would have beat the Packers into the playoffs, I would have said you're lying. But yeah, they
I mean, they
they
finished
lost the
eight and
Lions, man.
nine.
The Lions
Lions
almost made it
finishing
into the
9 and
playoffs.
8. Yeah, but they got eliminated last year or last week.
Yeah.
Uh, but Detroit has things to improve on. Quarterback. running back. They got good hope. Like, hey,
They do
they're a
have
good
hope.
team. They're a good team.
The Packers, it's time to move away from Aaron Rodgers.
they got a
This
lot.
this year has shown them that it's time to move away. You paid that dude so much. He gave away that game in the playoffs last year. I don't care what if he says it himself, I don't care. And then you lose this year like this. Come on, bro. You telling me that Devontae Adams played that much into your game that you play like this? So were you good, or was Devontae Adams good? Because I was led to believe that you were good, and so was he, but he was better because of you.
Aaron
And now I
Rodgers is
don't know.
good, right? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be good. Maybe they need to be done with him. I don't know. That's for Green.
Definitely, they have to.
That's for Green Bay. That's for a Green Bay fan to talk about, man.
He won one Super Bowl and act like he's like a legend. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like you won one Super Bowl in 2012. It's 2023, bro. Like, I'm sorry,
And to a
but
lot of people out there, you tend to have a crappy attitude all the time.
you do. He does. For real. And that's like that's the only team that's like fan owned. And that's what's crazy. Like that team should be doing great or at least like not have a bad attitude, you
Yeah,
know?
but hey, I'm looking forward to the off-season banter from this guy. He's going to give us a lot of
Gosh,
stuff,
man.
dude.
I did 2
You,
doses of ayahuasca this off season, so I should be ready to go.
you think all the crap he was talking last off-season got
He's talked
ridiculous?
crap his whole career when people doubted him. And usually
This
somehow he kind of makes it okay. So it's like, all right, but nah, bro. No.
now he didn't make the playoffs. Oh,
And I
dude,
get it as it's him. He's like, hell yeah, I got that payday, and it doesn't matter. But it kind of does at the same time. Like, are you gonna like raise your family around that stadium in Green Bay after you did that to them? Probably they're probably not gonna. They're definitely gonna egg your house and snowballs for
right?
sure.
Well, speaking of the playoffs, man. We got wild card week coming up here. I'm excited. I'm excited for the playoffs, dude.
Me too.
Uh, I think it's going to be exciting. It it's going to be edge of your seat, man. Not every game, but a couple of
It's
these games are
most
going
of
to
those
be,
games are gonna be pretty dang close.
yeah. Seattle, San Francisco. Um, will start off on Saturday. Seattle 9-8, San Francisco very impressive 13-3. Uh, San Francisco winning the NFC West. They'll have the home field advantage in this game. Um, do you see any way that
I think the 49ers are
Seattle?
gonna crush Seattle, in my opinion. I think that team's too good. I know that I know Seattle's doing good. Geno Smith is playing probably his best football. You know, Walker is a great running back, but the 49ers, man, they're a run heavy, hit the line team. They wear teams down. They got a great defense. I mean, I honestly think they're probably gonna they're gonna make it to the NFC Championship, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This is San Francisco, huge advantage. Christian McCaffrey is on the injury report. That's questionable, but when is Christian McCaffrey not on the injury report? It's questionable.
I know.
So I don't think there's any concern there. Yeah, but I agree. Seattle, I don't think fairly or unfairly has much of a chance in that game. Um, but like you said, you got in. I wouldn't have given Green Bay that much better of a chance.
Nah, 49ers would have won whoever played against them, I think.
Yeah. In a little bit, maybe it's not even that much, even more of a matchup. To round off that, first night of wildcard weekend, Jaguars, Chargers. Game will be in Jacksonville, of course, because Jacksonville won the AFC South. So congratulations to them. 9-8, uh, or finished 9-8 to win that division. Chargers finished 10-7, of course. Um, I think Chargers should be pretty heavily favored in this game.
That's who I'd like to win, but honestly, I have like a real like strong feeling that the Jags are going to take this game. And I want the Chargers to win. Don't get me wrong, I do. I want them to win, but I have a real strong feeling that the Jags are going to pull off this game.
Right?
I do. I really do. Sorry, Tony. I do. I do have a
Yeah,
really strong feeling that the Jags will win this game.
it should be a good matchup. Another good matchup and probably matchup we'll see for a while will be um, Buffalo and Miami. Buffalo will have home field advantage, winning the at a AFC East. Where the game will be played or what's going on is still going to be figured out. Uh, well, that's if they play. Uh, if AFC wanted to do a neutral site playoff game for the championship, but I don't think they will. Um, who do you like in this game, bud?
Uh, I mean, realistically, the Bills should go in there and do that, but it's not going to be a throwaway game by any means, a runaway game. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people, as far as Bills Mafia fans are concerned, is to be as close as they want it to be.
As far as Bills Mafia fans concerned, dude, the spread they have us at 13-point favorites.
I think that's
So
ridiculous.
it's not just Bill. No, just don't put this on Bills Mafia.
I do think the Bills will win, but I think the game will come down. It's going to
We
be a
have a
nail.
13. It's a 13-point spread, man.
I don't care
This
what they
is
say. They also said that Broncos were going to win 11, 10,
10
11 games.
games. Yeah.
Sorry. If
Hey,
you don't believe
it. No, I'm just saying.
I do think Miami's going to play a very good game. I think the Bills will win, but I think it'll be a much closer game than you want it to be.
Probably. And, well, they're saying, too, it won't play.
If Tua doesn't play, then maybe you will have a better chance to run away with it.
Well, of course, Tua is a good quarterback.
But
They just need to keep him as their quarterback and, keep him alive and healthy.
I mean, Allen needs to be a little more safe with the ball. Tends to get a little willy nilly.
No,
Buffalo's lost games that I thought they were going to win. So this year has been kind of. I don't think it's going to be as close. 13 points seems a little ridiculous. I think that it's going to be.
We don't set the spread. Bills Mafia doesn't set the spread.
I know.
But yeah,
but
I think we win this game. I think
seems a little biased to me.
Unrealistic.
13 points seems unrealistic. 13 points seems unrealistic.
Dude,
I know you don't make the spread, but I'm just letting you know that it's unrealistic.
It could be, bud. It could be. But I see us winning this game. It's in Buffalo, so I mean it's gonna be good stuff. Giants Vikings.
I think Vikings should win. I mean, I don't really think that if the Giants win, it's another one of those games that this is why the Vikings are never going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon, because no matter how good they are, they tend to lose to teams that are garbage and beat teams that you would think that they shouldn't stand a chance with. But I
Yeah.
really do think they should beat the Giants. It should be the Giants.
Yeah, I don't think yes. Like there's no excuse, dude. You're a lot better. 13-4. You win the
Yeah,
NFC North. So the game will be at Minnesota. The Giants, I mean, they have a big task in front of them. They can show off a lot, but I don't think it should be enough. It should not
yeah.
be enough, and Vikings should win that game. Uh, Bengals Ravens. Uh, Bengals at 12-4 win the NFC North. They'll have home field advantage for this, game we get to see twice a year, 3 times a year. Um, I like Cincinnati. There's just too much talent on that team. They have a quarterback and a running back who are two different people.
Hmm.
So
You know how
that's
I
a
feel,
that
bro.
yeah, that's a good starting point. I mean, Mixon is a really good running back. I'm a big fan of him. Jamar Chase has had
Yeah.
a good year, over a
I didn't
thousand
seem like a
yards.
bandwagon person because I'm always going on about not having a team. I'd pick Cincinnati as my team. They're a solid team, man. I like that they're young cats. They're playing well. I don't like the Ravens.
Yeah,
I think
no.
I think the Bengals are going to crush the Ravens 100%. I'm not even worried about it.
Do you Lamar is listed as questionable. Does your
I
opinion
don't even care
change?
if he's 110%. If he's way better than he was at the beginning of the season, he's not beating Cincinnati.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Even if
not.
Lamar returns,
Nah.
Cincinnati going to win this game.
Burrow, Mixon, P. Ryan,
Burrow, yeah.
Boyd, Chase. Nah. Nah.
Burrow's a really, really good quarterback.
That team is
Um,
good.
and then Tampa Bay will be hosting the final wild card playoff game at 8-9. They won NFC South, so they make the playoffs. They will be playing the 12-5 Dallas Cowboys. Dallas should win this game 100% all the way.
Nah, Tom Brady's winning this game, bro. He is. Tampa's going to win this game. They are.
Do you really
For
think
real.
so?
I know. I know it sucks to hear. I know. But it's the truth. Tampa's going to win this game.
Tampa
Tom
Bay's not
Brady
good.
barely loses playoffs games, and the Cowboys always lose playoff games.
The,
I know.
you,
No matter
you
what,
think Tampa
no
Bay
matter
can
what
win
you
this
say,
game?
it's not going to change my mind. Tampa's winning this game for sure. Yes,
Dude,
yes, Mrs. Smith,
that
I'm serious. Tom Brady's going to win this game.
Dallas favored by 2.5. Yeah. Um, this is a game Dallas should win hands down,
Should, but we're not talking about
right?
should. We're talking about what's actually going to happen.
And Tampa Bay's not
Not
like a
very
good
good.
team,
Not very good. Nothing to write home about this year.
and they're going to sit there on uh Sunday night, and they're going to beat the Cowboys.
Yes.
I mean, Tom Brady shouldn't even be in the playoffs, man. They shouldn't
Doesn't
even
matter
be
what
in the.
could, should, shouldn't have. Doesn't matter. It's what it is.
And they're playing the Cowboys. This should be cake. Tom Brady done. Get him out.
Should be, but nah.
And then, of course, the 2 first-round buys are going to be Kansas City. We'll have the week off. And in the NFC, San Francisco. No.
Chiefs.
The Eagles.
Eastern Eagles, yeah.
Yeah. In the AFC, who do you think? What team are you? If you had to guarantee they lose wild card weekend, which of these teams Like if you had to
Ravens.
guarantee one
Ravens.
of the teams, the Ravens. Yeah, yeah. I mean, do you think they're not to be so negative? Do you think they're the worst team in the playoffs?
In the playoffs, no, Seattle's the worst team in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
they're pretty close, and I had no faith in Seattle. So it's like Geno Smith actually did pretty well this year, and they kind of pulled together. I'm not a huge Ravens fan, man. I never have. Even when we first started, I was never a Ravens fan. And
Yeah.
maybe that's because like my favorite wide receiver was like AJ Brown. Um, I mean,
Antonio.
Antonio Brown, AB Brown. But it's just like still, um, I've never been impressed with the Ravens. They were a solid defense team as long as even when I didn't watch football, when my dad watched football when we were growing up.
Right.
I've never been very impressed since I've been watching it. Just not a fan. To think, and it's just they they put a lot of faith in that team, and yet year in year out, we've seen them fail. And we're supposed to act like they're an elite team. I mean, the Steelers are a much better team than the Ravens, and it's just out of luck that the Ravens made the playoffs this year.
Right. Most likely upset for playoff weekend. Is it your de facto Tampa Bay beating Dallas?
Honestly, I would say Dolphins would be the biggest upset for me.
No, no. Like if you were going to guarantee one of these upsets,
Oh,
which one do you think would be
would
most
you consider
likely?
the Buccaneers to be an upset?
Dallas is 2.5 point favorite.
2.5 points isn't really a lot, bro. Is that really like an
It's
upset?
not. I don't think I don't
The biggest
think
upset, if I had to choose one, would be Seahawks to 49ers. The Seahawks winning over the
Seattle
49ers.
did beat.
That's like a huge
Yeah,
upset. I would never even guess that.
but
That would
don't
be
think
like
that's
if I had
likely
to
at
pick like
all.
the most crazy, outlandish upset that I thought would be Seahawks beating the 49ers.
Ravens 8.5 plus.
The thing is, I don't think they will, but it wouldn't surprise me as much as if the Ravens beat Cincinnati over.
Because they game plan for him a lot. They they
I
know
think
the
they're
team.
more closely
But Seattle and
aligned
49ers,
than it
same
is.
thing.
Seahawks should be. I mean, 49ers should crush the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And if for some reason the Seahawks beat the 49ers, everything I've said about the 49ers being like a great team this year is like up in smoke. Because I've been saying that the 49ers were going to be good all year, and they have been. But the fact that the Seahawks are even in the Super Bowl, even in the playoffs, is surprising to me.
What game are you most excited to see?
Maybe the Jags Chargers.
That one could be sneaky good.
That one's gonna be sneaky good. I
But
honestly
should
think the AFC, the wild
Chargers
card
should wipe
AFC
the
games are
floor
gonna
with
be
them,
really good.
right?
Like the NFCs aren't gonna be bad, but I think they're gonna be more kind of how we think they're gonna go. I know we're kind of different. We're kind of differing on who's gonna win the Tampa Cowboys game, but I
It
think the
should be a good
AFC
game
has
though.
a lot better chance of being really close. Those games happen to be really close.
Cowboys should run away with that
They're not.
game.
They're not.
Best team for you in the playoffs.
I mean, any smart person would say the Chiefs, right? But I'm a big fan of the Eagles, and I mean, of course, Cincy. Cincy's who I want to make it to the Super Bowl. I really want
Again,
Cincinnati
watch
Eagles
that
Super
again.
Bowl, or Cincinnati 49ers Super Bowl. I think, but it's either Cincy, the Bills, or the Chiefs are going to win AFC, and I think it's going to be between the Eagles and the 49ers as far as the NFC. One of those
Yeah.
five teams will be the Super Bowl champion.
No Dallas in there. The 12-5
No,
Dallas Cowboys, dude.
I don't even think even if the Buccaneers beat Dallas, they're not going to make the Super Bowl. I don't think Tom Brady still has it in him to beat the Eagles or the 49ers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
maybe he has it in, but I don't think Tampa in general has the ability to beat those caliber teams right now.
no. No, but it promises to be a really fun wild card weekend. Looking forward to the games.
It's definitely going to
Pop
be a good week. What's
Pop
going on, Mr.
saying
Smith?
go with the Eagles and former Penn State running back. But
I'd ask you who you want to win, but I'm pretty sure I know.
oh yeah, 100%, dude. You know the answer to every single one of those questions that I ask you, and so does everybody else.
So,
So why
oh,
even waste?
shout out Demar went home, right? Demar went
Yeah,
home
yeah.
today.
Tomorrow went home. Yep. Yes,
That's what's
sir.
up, man. What's up? That's
That's
good to see. I mean,
yeah,
football's
yeah.
fun and all, but you still got to remember that there's people behind these players, and so that's what's up, man. That's good to see.
Exactly. Well, Don, thank you once again for joining me. Next
That's
week
good.
we'll wrap up what we just saw and preview the divisional round of the NFL. And we'll see that. Thank you for joining us on Full Time Sport Network, covering the NFL on Through the Table. We'll see y'all next week.